Yo, YouTube, what is up? Welcome back to the Rated R for Wrestling Studios.
What up, Marks?
Guys, we're back again. We got another video for you guys. Wednesday Night Wars, the best night of wrestling on TV. AEW Dynamite and NXT. The ratings battle continues, even though AEW seems to dominate every single week, especially in the important 18 to 49 demographic.
Not seems to, they just do.
They do, yeah. It's not really seems to. But we got a lot to get into. We got 3 total takeaways from both shows. Interesting things. We had a big betrayal on AEW. We had the Inner Circle living it up, hangover style, in Las Vegas with the 2 new members, Wardlow and MJF. We have NXT, where we have a hotly contested women's championship match, Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley. We have Finn Balor coming back and addressing his status with the NXT World Championship, World title, and the fact that he has a broken jaw and is wired shut and all that good stuff. So we have a lot to get into, but before we do, you already know what time it is. Take care of a little business. If you're watching this video, like the channel, the content that's coming out, the previous videos that have been dropping. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, if you're enjoying the content we're giving you guys, hit that subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. Notification bell so you get alerted when all these videos do come out, like the last ones I dropped yesterday, and then the one is dropping right now. Also, follow the Instagram, social media, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Twitch, the TikTok, all that good stuff. Follow that, all the same handles for all 4 platforms. Then you got the links in the description section below. You get the Amazon link, shop through there, kicks back towards the channel. Fight TV, Honor Club, sign up to Honor Club, order pay-per-views on Fight TV, kicks back towards the channel. Highspots.com. Anything you guys want to buy wrestling related merchandise there, kicks back towards the channel. Appreciate all the support, help the channel grow. Now, without further ado, guys, get right into it. 3 takeaways from the Wednesday Night Wars, and we're starting off with AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite started off pretty interesting between the Young Bucks and Top Flight, a super legitimate babyface tag team because they have baby faces. These guys are super young. I believe one is 21, the other one's 19 years old.
Yes, babies.
Yeah, the Young Bucks get the win here, but okay, if you're into high pace, fast, high spots, a lot of spots, not much selling type of tag team matches, this is right up your alley. If you like a more psychological kind of slowed down match with a lot of mat work and selling, you're gonna hate it. There should have been more selling in this match, but young guys in there with obviously the style of the Young Bucks as well. You're gonna get this type of matchup. Some sloppy spots here and there, but it's a really young tag team that seems to emulate the Young Bucks big time.
Yeah, JR was probably just like, this, what the hell am I watching? Like, so pissed off. But good for the Young Bucks. They're tag team champs. They're, the EPs of this company, and they're giving younger guys a shot. And they, it was a match that probably should have been a squash, and it wasn't. They gave them some offense. They let them get their shit in. So good on the Bucks. It was a good match. Funny way to start the show, and bigger and better things for the Bucks, obviously. But they were just putting over a younger, really baby, like they were like teenagers. So yeah,
real young looking guys. But yeah, it was what it was. I mean, just a high octane, fast paced, no selling.
Was pissed.
Yeah, just no selling going on there. So if you're into that, you like this match. So Young Bucks get the win there. They will they will be attacked by Jack Evans and Angelico. Top Flight. They will get attacked by them, get run off later on. So that they seem to be interjecting themselves in the tag team picture. Next thing on the show, we had Orange Cassidy going Kip Sabian. Orange Cassidy gets the win here, but Miro comes out and attacks Orange Cassidy afterwards and runs away as the best friends jump in. So that feud continues. Orange Cassidy and the best friends against Miro and Kip Sabian. Next thing, we had the contract signing. Now, we had a promo before this from Jon Moxley, your AEW World Champion. He's cutting a promo talking about how like everybody's coming at him now. He can barely get out of bed. He's beat up, sowing the seeds that he may lose that match against Kenny Omega. Make sure you check out the video I posted a couple days ago, why Kenny Omega should be your AEW champion. But yeah, he sowed the seeds there that he's already beat up. It's wearing down, wear and tear on his body. He said he has trouble getting out of bed. He says he's a pregnant wife at home, revealing that him and Renee Young, Renee Paquette is what her actual name is, are pregnant now. So congratulations to them. Interesting way to announce that in a promo. But the contract signings are happening. Kenny Omega comes out with his elaborate entrance, all suited up, sits there. Here comes Jon Moxley, but then they cut to the back. Jon Moxley's been knocked out. He's laid out on the ground. Who did it? We don't know. Maybe Kenny, maybe somebody else. But the contract signing really isn't much of a contract signing. Kenny is going to go sign the paper, but he has a lot of trouble because the pen still has that little like rubber thing they put on the new pen at the tip.
Someone didn't take it off, guys. Good job, bro.
Yeah, it's live to you. What are you gonna do? Yeah. But he signs the contract, and that's pretty much all there is to say about that. Really wasn't the best thing going on there, but it was what it was. Yeah. Next thing we had The Blade versus Pac. Interesting matchup here. pretty much all this led to was like the breakup of, Eddie Kingston and his crew. So now it's Eddie Kingston, Butcher and Blade against the Death Triangle, which is back officially because so after the match you had Phoenix
switcheroo.
Yeah, you had Phoenix and Penta coming out to help, their former teammate in Pac. So that's coming back.
Which is interesting. I did like the way Kingston just got into Pac's face at the end of the match. I thought that was a good time. But yeah, I mean, it's good to see what are they called again? The Pentagon, the Triangle de Muerte. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, Death Triangle. Yeah,
Death Triangle. So yeah, I mean, at least we got to see them back together because they went missing for months and months and months.
Yeah. So they kind of just reverted course, and then they went back to what they were originally planning to do with the Death Triangle. So that's cool to see. We'll see more of that as it goes on. Next thing we have Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa for the NWA Championship, Women's Championship. They're doing the NWA stuff still. So Serena Deeb wins this match again due to distractions from Britt Baker. And then you have Britt Baker fighting with Thunder Rosa after the match as well. So maybe that's going to be a thing now. Thunder Rosa there was rumors Thunder Rosa was leaving and she was going to end up joining WWE, but she still seems to be there.
Nah, I think she's all elite.
Yeah, starting a new feud with Britt Baker. So I'm just happy to see Britt Baker out there like in something. Hopefully she gets into something good right now.
And like it would have been nice for either fighting for the NWA Championship or the AEW Championship. It's just like the women's division is just a mess right now, and like the fact that the NWA women's title gets more shine than the AEW title. Like AEW women's title is like third place and like on Wednesdays. It's kind of
the NWA title is like way more.
It's not great.
Yeah, so that was that. Let's get into the Inner Circle stuff. Inner Circle obviously was in Las Vegas with the new members MJF and Wardlow. The entire time you had Sammy, you had Ortiz beefing with MJF, you had Wardlow and Jake Hager literally staring each other down the entire time. They gambled, they got drunk, they ingratiated. Conan showed up and he got to smoke with them. So good to see Conan out there. They ended up adding a new member or an honorary member in Elvis. They added an Elvis impersonator into the group. They all got drunk, kind of hangover style. Woke up the next morning in a massive suite, all messed up. You had MJF with writing all over his face. You had Sammy married a bunch of chicks or something like that.
Yeah, you had fell asleep in a fountain.
He fell asleep in a fountain. They ran. You had Santana and Chris Jericho running, opening the door and seeing Hornswoggle in a diaper on the ground.
We saw Hornswoggle. Man.
Yeah, Hornswoggle was there. So it's a lot going on there, kind of a bonding moment, but it's just all comedy here. So we'll see where this ends up going forward, and what happens with the beef between Ortiz, Sammy Guevara, MJF. So we'll see what happens with that, and obviously the pissing contest that Wardlow and Jake Hager have going on there. Yeah,
it's funny. It's definitely entertaining. It's weird. It's just kind of out of left field, but it's a good time. It's a good time.
We had an attack. Jade Cargill, she came out last week and interrupted Cody. She attacked Brandy Rose in the back this week, so that continues to feud
and
there.
Like stomped her arm with a chair in between a chair. I feel like she needed to sell that better.
Yeah, she definitely
it didn't feel as impactful, and then Big Swole comes out and kind of runs her off. It's like, I feel like definitely broke her arm and should have been sold a lot better than that, but whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's get to the main event. And the end of this match is going to be the first takeaway of the night. The match was Brian Cage and Ricky Starks versus Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin. Cody Rhodes coming out with I believe he has his own pizza place in Atlanta, and that's sowing the seeds of a feud with Shaq because Shaq's always Papa John. So that, little thing there, they announced it on the announce table. The announcers announced that, so that's going there. But whatever.
It's pizza. There's always enough room for pizza.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Now, big time finish. I'm surprised they had the new TNT champion take the fall here because
very strange.
Brian Cage is the drill claw from the top rope on Darby Allin. Darby Allin loses this match. After the match, they would attack Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes. Will Hobbs comes out, and this is takeaway number one because Will Hobbs done a lot of this over the past few months. He just comes out, kind of shoos everybody away with the chair, and then that's pretty much it.
He's the hero. He's Batman.
Yeah, remember he had the stuff with Lance Archer, and he was supposed to team up with Mox and Darby Allin, take out Lance Archer and Taz's crew. That never happened because of COVID. So now he's with Cody and Allin. But the big surprise here is this picture behind the swerve that Will Hobbs betrays Cody Rhodes, hits him with the FTW championship, and now is part of Team Taz. So this is good. I think it's a good thing because Will Hobbs hasn't really much done anything. Like I said, he keeps showing up, shooing everybody away with a chair, and then nothing happens afterwards.
Yeah, he's been a bodyguard, so I mean, it just kind of shows up to save the day. So this was actually good, and it adds a different element to Team Taz. I was kind of feeling a little weird because Cage and Ricky Starks really don't, and Taz really,
visually they don't look that good together.
They don't look that good together. So throwing in Will Hobbs here, it's a more menacing crew. You have two of the biggest guys on the roster. You got Pretty Boy in the middle. You got Taz, the just always really angry at everything, Taz. So there's that. Definitely interesting. A little more gang warfare being thrown into AEW. They love the group, so that's pretty good. And who's going to help out? Who in the Nightmare family is going to help out?
I would say Matt Cardona. We haven't seen Matt Cardona in a while.
Exactly. I was going to say, like, I haven't seen Matt Cardona. He was there twice, and we never seen him again. So hopefully he comes back, or I don't know, either Dustin comes or whatever, Marshall, whatever, whoever shows up. But yeah, the weird Darby Allin and his weird promos, vignettes where he sets his leg on fire. I don't need to see any more of that stuff. It's really weird. It's not really doing anything for me. I don't get what it's supposed to do for his character. It's just, we know he's weird. We don't have to set his leg on fire. I don't get it. And that's probably why he took the fall. So
yeah, big time. But yeah, so good to see Will Hobbs actually, obviously, like in something, doing something of importance. But yeah, I think Matt Cardona will be the guy to help out Allen and Rhodes, unless somebody else from maybe not the Nightmare Family shows up and helps out. But guys, let's take away number one. That's AEW Dynamite. Halfway decent show. You know, bookend by like something really, really good in the Will Hobbs.
Good ending.
Yeah, with the Will Hobbs ending. Now,
let's better than NXT though.
That's true. NXT was a really good show this week. Let's jump right into NXT because everybody seemed to have had something going on, which is something they need to do more of. Now, the night started off NXT North American Championship rematch. Leon Ruff, your new NA North American champion, going against Johnny Gargano in a rematch of last week. The match would go on, and here comes Damian Priest. He knocks out Leon Ruff to cause a disqualification for Leon Ruff to retain the title. Leon Ruff was really upset about this because it seems like they're treating him as a joke, which obviously he kind of is. So he's really upset. He slaps Damian Priest after the match, and you would see later on Damian Priest supposedly have a match booked, but it just ends up being a brawl between him and Johnny Gargano, and that would be the end of that. So we'll see. I'm assuming at War Games, which they announced, I believe it's December 7th, will be a triple threat match to see who becomes NXT North American champion.
Yeah, definitely interesting little storyline we got brewing with Mr. Ruff involved with two big stars in the company. So yeah, I mean it was funny. It was a good time. I like the back and forth of playing that they're playing around with. I'm excited to see where this goes. It's entertaining. It's funny. Johnny Gargano's doing a great job as a heel and just being like, stop fucking with me. So I mean, it's entertaining. Definitely entertaining.
Next thing we had Cameron Grimes going against Dexter Lumis in a blindfold match. This was a disaster because Lumis just stood there the entire time. Grimes was running around the ring trying to find them. Ended up beating up the referee. He ended up beating up the referee, took off his blindfold, and then get chased around by Lumis and then escape. So that was pretty much all there is to there. That feud will continue, probably going into NXT War Games. Next thing we had on the show, Candice LeRae and her new partner Indy Hartwell going against Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter. Match was what it was. LeRae and Hartwell get the win here. LeRae and Shotzi Blackheart will take on each other at War Games. Hopefully there's some type of tank match or something like that involved.
She was building something. She was out there welding.
She was in the promo for War Games. She was welding and
she's a licensed welder and a wrestler and a wolf and a host and everything. I mean, girl does everything.
Yeah, so she's doing something. Hopefully there's a tank involved in that match. Next thing, we had Kushida going against Arturo Ruas. Now, this guy was drafted to Raw during the draft, but now he seems to be on SmackDown. They reverted course with it. Whatever. A lot going on here, but Kushida does get the win here. He continues a strong, undefeated run where he keeps beating everybody and coming into play most likely for a North American title shot eventually, if not an NXT Championship match. So that match was what it was. Next thing we had Toni Storm, Ember Moon going against Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez. All these women enthralled in the NXT Women's Championship picture. You know, what would happen here is that Storm and Moon would defeat Kai and Gonzalez by pinfall, but you had Candice LeRae and, Indy Hartwell coming out for a distraction. So we could have, triple tag team matches and stuff like that. You never know. Or we could even have the women's tag team champion show up and face either one of these teams. But all these women are doing a good job. They're reshuffling the deck in the women's division, building up new stars, because we're going to see something later on in the women's championship match that may be the reason as to why they're
foreshadowing.
Yes, some foreshadowing there. So let's get on to the next thing. We have Timothy Thatcher versus August Gray. I'm sorry. And the match was what it was. Thatcher gets the win, but here comes Tommaso Ciampa to stare down Thatcher. So that feud continues after last week is starting. Now it will continue on.
I'm excited for that, because that's two guys who are just brawlers and they're going to beat the shit out of each other. This is going to be a painful match.
It is going to be a painful match.
I'm excited to see it.
They showed William Regal knocking on the house door, and Boa, the guy in the suit from last week. He's back there. He opens the door. He asks him, why haven't you been to the PC in over a week? He says she is coming. Who's she? He says it's Xylee. He says Xylee's been hiding because she is coming. He shut the door, and that was pretty much it. I don't know what this storyline is gonna end up becoming. I'm not expecting much from it though.
Nah, so this should be on SmackDown if it has that feel.
Yeah, definitely. Now, NXT Women's Championship match. Io Shirai, the champion, going against Rhea Ripley. Tremendous matchup.
Oh, such a good match.
Given about close to 20 minutes or a little bit more than 20 minutes here.
Yeah.
But awesome matchup. Shirai surprisingly keeps the title. I thought they were going to go Rhea Ripley. Now, this is takeaway number 2 because Rhea Ripley did not win, and the way this match ended seemed like it may have been her last time in NXT. I'm not sure where she goes from here. I'm not really sure where she goes, and I think she may be making a move to the main roster, which I think kind of sucks, but I understand as to why they've been implementing Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae so much. Obviously, Candice LeRae, but she's very talented. But her bringing back Ember Moon's here, bringing Toni Storm back into the fold, Dakota Kai still being around. They have a lot of women that they're reshuffling the deck, and I think it's because Rhea Ripley's leaving, especially after losing this matchup against Io Shirai.
Yeah, great match. This girl's killed it. That's one of the best matches you'll see this year. It was that good. It was really, really good. Definitely surprising. I really thought Rhea was going to take the belt and it was going to make a run. But the women's division on SmackDown looks a little weak, and it does look a little weak on Raw. So they can use the talent of Rhea Ripley, especially without Charlotte, Becky. But Becky's about to give birth, so she's going to be gone for maybe another year or so. So we don't know when she'll be back. So right now, all we got is Bayley and Sasha that are really interesting, and Asuka's kind of just running around. So I think Rhea Ripley could be on either show and should be pushed to the top billing on any of those shows. So I'm excited to see where she goes. The match was great. I love the ending where they both looked at each other and just get the respect. That definitely gave you the vibe. This was the end of her at NXT. That's why we got that feeling. But if it is, she didn't spend a lot of time on NXT, but she killed it when she was there. So, I'm excited to see her on SmackDown or Raw if it happens.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Hopefully, with the women, they tend to do a good job with for the most part. It's the men they tend to mess around with a little bit too much when they go from NXT to the main roster.
And then we'll definitely see either, Toni Storm or Ember Moon or something like that kind of go up against Io Shirai.
Maybe end up dethroning Io Shirai. But tremendous matchup. But my issue with this, that's takeaway number 2, guys. The issue with this is that you have this big matchup, this big moment, and then it kind of gets immediately foreshadowed because as she's celebrating on the ramp, here comes Finn Balor, NXT champion, returning, and it kind of just takes away a little bit from the women's championship match. But that's just a little nitpicky thing. So we have Finn Balor in the ring. He's obviously back. His jaw looks a little bit swollen still.
It's just definitely like that right side looked a little
puffy, it looked a little puffy. So he's out there. He gets interrupted by Pat McAfee and his squad. Pat McAfee comes down, talks a bunch of trash to Finn Balor. Finn Balor says,
talks a lot of shit, man.
Yeah, Finn Balor says he's back and he has a surprise. Lights go out and this happens. The Undisputed Era comes out and attacks Pat McAfee's crew. They all brawl and it's set up. War Games match will be Pat McAfee, Lorcan and Birch, Pete Dunne against the entire Undisputed Era. I'm excited as hell to see what Pat McAfee pulls out in this match on December 7th. Fall Brawl War Games, NXT War Games.
His last match, he did a great job, and I'm expecting huge things from him because he's a crazy guy. He's a showman, so he wants to do something crazy. He's gonna do a punt off the cage. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I'm excited to see it. This feels like the Four Horsemen versus, I don't know. It feels very NWA 80s group gang mentality. I'm loving it. I'm digging it. I'm excited to see it. They've done a good job of building the storyline. Thus far, those matches have been killer since they came back with War Games. Let's just get there already. Like December 6th or 7th, whatever day it is, let's go. Let's do this. I'm ready.
Yeah, big time stuff. I'm super excited for that match, guys. That's takeaway number 3. That's the video we have for you guys today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video. All that good stuff. Hit the links in the description section below. Follow the social media platforms. Appreciate you guys for watching. Without further ado, if it doesn't work, you better do not do the job.
Later, Monks.